have achieved something already that none of them have achieved. No one has ever had a pop song sung about them. Firstly, Robbie Williams, do you know him? Have you ever met him? And what did you think when you heard Robbie Williams change the lyrics of one of his most famous songs?
That's one of the most sort of backhanded, sort of underwhelming compliments I've ever had. You've had some unbelievably fantastic managers, big names, successful, and then there's you, Ange. You know, so and then have I ever heard of Robbie Williams? Where have I been living, mate? I mean, seriously, look. I love Robbie Williams. I think he's brilliant. He's a great entertainer. He made a song brilliant. I think it came off the back of one of our supporters. Look, it's great. You know, the alternative is they make up songs about you that are less than complimentary. So I'll take it for what it is. But yeah, thanks for that, mate. I'll just float out of here, you know, feeling good about myself.
I'll rephrase the question next time.
Thank you. That's fine, mate. Thank you.
Ali. How much help and support has Pep Guardiola given you the last few years?
Pep Guardiola.
Well, he's spoken at length about you in glowing terms recently, saying how you've met and how
and very gracious of him. But I think I've probably spent 20 minutes in his company, mate. So, and I've never spoken to him otherwise. So, but if you're asking me, you know, he's going to go down as one of the greatest managers of all time. He's had an unbelievable influence on the game of football, and all of us involved in it, whether it's, you know, consciously or unconsciously been influenced by him. Absolutely. You know, what an unbelievable manager, you know, and but you can check my phone, mate, he's not in there. I don't have him as Pep, you know, to call up, because I'm telling him to do it rather than the belief. I really wasn't happy with our last sort of 5 or 6 minutes of the first half. We were playing for 1-0, and it's just not something that sits well with me. And you know, and I don't blame the players, because, you know, like I said, they're kind of going at the moment through my guidance, but you know, that shows me we've still got a little bit of work to do in terms of just getting him to really believe in the kind of football team we want to be. So, which is not unexpected, because, like I said, we've been working together for 4 or 5 weeks. So, but you know, when I see things like that, it's a good sort of reminder to me that you know, there's still a fair way to go. It's not about sort of making them happy. It's about giving them joy that comes from suffering. You know, and I mean, I'll say that because I listened to a podcast during the week, and I just thought it was a great sort of description of what football is about. You know, it's not about being happy, because you actually suffer a game of football until that joyous moment when the ball goes in the net or you win the game, you know. And that's kind of, I thought, a nice way of sort of what I'm trying to do, is just bring him joy, but understand there's going to be some suffering within that, you know.
What was the podcast?
It was Louis Theroux interviewing Australian singer. What's his name? Oh, escapes me now. Louis Theroux. It was a little bit deeper than that. Nothing against Peter Andre, obviously. He's a fantastic talent. It just escapes me for the moment. Yeah.
It was a good podcast. You like Louis Theroux?
It was interesting. I like listening to things. I like reading things. If something sort of pops up that I sort of piques my interest, I'll always. You never stop learning, mate. You know, it's funny that. So, and the best way to do that is listen. Don't talk too much. I don't know. I mean, it's just people, mate. You know, you know. Sometimes I'll meet. You know, you just have an interaction with a person. You walk away, and for them it's insignificant, but for you, you go. You know, you walk away thinking that was. Never thought about it like that. You know, I've been fortunate that the game's taken me all around the world, and you know, I've met people from, you know, different cultures, different upbringing, different values, different ways of seeing the world, and you know, like I said, you kind of listen to them and you go, I've never thought about it like that, and you walk away and you have a different perspective straight away. Whether that you put that into some sort of, you know, action in terms of the way you live your life, I don't know, but it's there. It's a seed, you know, that is planted. You know, we all have limited sort of brain space. mine's getting more limited because I remember the podcast but not the person I interviewed, so that tells you where I'm at in my life. But those kind of things. I love that about life. I love that about football. Football's given me that. I've felt like I've never stopped learning because, like I said, I'm really curious, and the football's told me that to never kind of have a narrow mind about things.
I think it was Sia. Ange.
No, it wasn't, mate.
It wasn't.
It was an Aussie. I'll get it, mate. It's a bloke. Did a duet with Kylie Minogue. Come on, Richie. No, come on. You guys have got to open your mind, mate. You got a very narrow focus. Huh? Nick Cave. Thank you, Lynch. Thank you. Jesus. Talk about open minds. The most closed-minded group of individuals. Jason Donovan and Peter Andre.
Nick Cave is deeper than Peter.
Well,
It's a moment in centre circle just to look around. What was going through your mind then?
like I said, I just, you want to feel that moment because I've always said that to me, I love what football does to people, particularly, in those moments. So you kind of take a moment to think about the 60,000 or whatever that were here or the ones watching at home, but they're going to be smiling for the rest of the week, I love that it does that, the game, and it's, for me, that moment's just about sort of appreciating that I'm pretty blessed to be doing what I'm doing and be in the middle of, a stadium leading a fantastic football club, and then you start thinking about next week, mate. So a bit disappointed that a couple of things didn't fall his way, but I wasn't. I thought his performance was very good on the day. He actually played an important part in the way we sort of set up, and it was a real focal point for us. So, I guess with all these things, it's like anything else. People look at outcomes, and with strikers, it's just about goals and nothing else. And I'm sure Richie wants to score goals, but far more important for me is how he's contributing to our team setup. And I thought he was good last week, and from my perspective, that's the key thing. I'm sure the goals will come, but no point getting the goals if the team's not performing.
The cliche of our strikers is it's more of a worry if they're not getting chances than missing chances. Didn't really have many chances against United, a couple against Brentford. But you seem quite happy with the performance overall. Is it not a concern that your centre forward is not getting so much?
2 games in, mate. Come on. We love the big call, don't we? I just don't. I never live in that kind of moment where I judge things that quickly, and I get why others do. I get it. He should be on 6 goals and top goal scorer in the league, and everyone said, look, he's going to replace Harry and he's going to score more goals. But you don't know at this point in time how many goals he's going to end up at the end of the year. You don't know. So why put a judgment? Like I said, I thought he played really well. It was a really good link up for us, especially in the second half when we had the ascendancy. If you look at the passages of play, he was an important part of that. Just holding the ball up, playing out wide, being a real presence in the box. I thought he was unlucky on a couple of occasions. I mean, it's come off the crossbar, a couple of scrambles that another day falls for him and he scores. So he's in those areas. So like I said, I don't look at it. It's the same as our form so far. I'm not looking at our form saying, God, geez, we're going to be unbelievable this year. It's 2 games, and in those 2 games, there was some real positive stuff, but there's also a lot there that tells me we've got a long way to go. So, I get why others sort of get emotional. It's an emotional game, but that's not the way I kind of look at it from my perspective. It's about, I thought we needed to be strong as a team to get a result last week, and I thought Richie was an important part of that.
Just finally, I know it's been 2 games, but last season he described his own season in 4-letter words, and it didn't go very well.
Yeah.
Just very honest. It wouldn't surprise me, based on that season, if his confidence wasn't at the highest. How have you helped him with that?
I don't know if I've sort of specifically helped him. I think that's, I was talking about it before. I think he's not the only one in that boat. I mean, you talked about, Pape Sarr last year, Basuma last year. there's a lot of guys in that boat, and what I tried to do is, from the first day they walked in here, is to show them that it's a different place, and then give them the opportunity to see whether that helps them get to a good place in terms of their own confidence, their own self-belief. So it's not just about targeting the individual; it's about the whole environment. And they've walked into pre-season or whenever they've come back to the club and they've seen new coaches, new ideas, new way of training, and what you hope in that context is that all those guys see it. Okay, well, here's an opportunity for me now to do what I want to do and have some self-belief. So it's not that I've had to do anything specific with him, because again, I don't want anybody coming into this year. I didn't want anybody with carrying the baggage of or the burden of anything that's gone on in the past. There's no point in that. There's no. I come in with the energy that it's something new and something an exciting opportunity, and that's what I wanted the players to feel like.
Was today's performance and the start of the season a perfect birthday present to you?
Yeah, no, I'm 58. I mentioned we always put birthday sort of celebrations on hold depending on the results. So I'm sure my wife's scrambling to arrange something now for tomorrow. It'll be nice. Obviously, short turnaround to Fulham, so I've still got to go into work tomorrow. But be nice to spend some time with the family and another sort of click closer to that 60 mark, mate. So good.
This is a genuine question. Did your players have difficulty in picking each other out in your cappuccino away strip tonight? Because I must admit, I struggled to follow them in my peripheral vision. There are a lot of misplaced passes in the first half. I just wonder whether the actual visibility of the shirt was an issue.
Okay. I don't know is the real answer to that genuine question. That's my genuine answer. I'm not really sure. I don't think he would have played a massive part. Look, I think some of it is just, like I said, just, in a team function when there isn't familiarity there. Like I said, guys who haven't played with each other and, in over 2-3 games, there's not going to be the fluency there that, we've seen, but that's understandable. But again, that's part of the process of where we're at the moment. We need to, like I said, find out about our players, find out about our, the group and our character and our personality, and I don't know, maybe we need to check out colour matching capabilities. I don't know. Cappuccino, so it was okay.
And welcome to the Premier League.
Thank you.
You've taken over a Tottenham side without Champions League football, without Europa League football, without Conference League football, finishing 8th in the Premier League. What will be success for you this season?
Gee, you've painted a pretty bleak picture there. I was excited about this role. I think, but to be fair, without sort of being dismissive of it, that's why I'm here. That's what I love about it, is that all that is not here, and that's what I want to bring. I want to bring success to this football club. I want to bring European football to this football club. I want it to be where it deserves to be, and that's as much as the excitement around joining a massive football club in the best competition in the world was attractive to me. The biggest thing about it was that there's an enormous challenge here. I love that. That's what I've done my whole career. Every club I've taken over after it's had a disappointing season or disappointing seasons. Because I think, for me, that's the thing that I've cherished most of my career, is to do things that will last, make a difference, to create something that hopefully stays beyond my tenure, because I won't be here forever. So that, the kind of scenario you painted of where we are at the moment is what attracted me most about this role. What a great challenge, but, what a great story if we get it right. So what does success look like? I think the fans will tell me that. They'll tell me that at the end of the year.